Hi everyone, I'm Lori Zettlemoyer, and this is my assignment 5 for AAP 867. So it's putting it all together. Looking at my lesson plan, which as a reminder was based around the flow of electricity in a fourth grade classroom science class. So some of the revisions I would make here are, first of all, I would make the plan longer than a week. That would allow for students to have a longer time processing and hopefully make for a better understanding. But if I spread that lesson plan out for a little longer than I had written it, I think we may see better results. Secondly, I would have them keep more information in their science notebook. This was something I didn't have too much play in the science notebook written into the lesson plan, but looking back, it would be a great idea to have them record questions and diagrams in that notebook so that throughout the unit, they can go back and refer to their own learning, kind of rethink it, reprocess it as needed. I would have them do a little more organizing of their response before they begin their flip grid. I think that, listing on the board and beginning to write the argument together, not only would that make it easier to ease into a written argument when we get there, but it would also help them to have a better understanding of what they're going to say, make sure they're using the correct terminology and such. And finally, something that does come with the curriculum itself, which I was trying to stay away from, but it does have a sim in there, which is really great to use, and it might give children a better understanding of the working model of electricity. So, how do the tasks yield evidence of understanding? The understanding I'm looking for is that the flow of electricity is going to go from the solar panel to the electrical motor, and hopefully actually building the system would help them understand that. Having them answer the questions afterwards is my way of hoping that they'll see that each component is necessary and that if one is not working or one is missing, the system breaks down. And finally, I want them to begin understanding a scientific argument using the correct terminology. And that was why I had them use the flip grid, kind of design their argument and build an answer to a question. Too often they think of an argument as, I'm going to argue with you. And what I really want them to understand is that in science, it's really answering a question and giving evidence to that effect. I tried to make it applicable to real world skills by building it around a real life problem, something that they'll all be familiar with when the lights go out or the power fails. And in doing this, I'm making them into engineers and having them explain at a town meeting why the power in the town may be going out. And again, we're going to get towards that something's wrong with one of the components in the system. And later on, hopefully we'll be able to figure out what that is. A variety of assessment formats. I tried to use the verbal argument with Flipgrid. I thought that might be a great way for them to really get out their understanding in a verbal way, and eventually later on moving into a written argument. Written questions, and finally group work. That would involve quite a bit of observation from the teachers circulating the room, which sometimes I find leads me to the best assessment. I really can understand what they know and what they don't know based on the conversations that I overhear. How are they given the opportunity to self-assess and reflect? Well, first of all, there's a rubric in Flipgrid that they'll be able to use and compare. But also, this is why I wanted to do a little more incorporation of the notebooks that would allow them to reflect on their learning, look back at it, compare their answers with other answers that they're hearing on Flipgrid, and hopefully give themselves a better assessment and understand their own learning a little better. So that's it for this module. It has been great working with all of you, and I hope we get to work together in some other classes. Thank you.